The nanny's son comes over every week during his holidays to freeload at my house. Out of consideration for his mother working at our home for many years, I never said anything, but one day, I came home to find the door code had been changed, and there was a note stuck to the door. Freeloader dog, no entry allowed. I ripped the note off, knocked on the door, and questioned the nanny, what is going on here? The nanny's son was sitting on the sofa with his legs crossed, saying in an unfriendly tone, can you read? You stay in my house every day. Have you no shame? If you have nowhere to stay, then go sleep on the street. I hate freeloading scoundrels like you the most. I looked baffled, and the nanny immediately came forward to whisper an explanation. Young master, I am sorry. My son doesn't know I am a nanny. He acts like a young master and doesn't like living with outsiders. By the way, don't you have another house in the suburbs? When my son comes to stay here on weekends, you should go stay in the suburbs. After saying that, the nanny just shut the front door. I stood outside and silently called the police. Hello? Someone has broken into my house and is occupying it illegally. Please arrive as soon as possible. I never thought that as the son of the wealthiest man, I would be accused of being someone squatting in another's home. The thing is, this villa is my private property. A police car stopped at the villa entrance. 2 officers got out but hadn't yet asked about the details of the break-in. The nanny, Wang Xuqin, hurriedly opened the door, walked quickly toward me, and said with a pale face, Young master, what's going on? Why did you call the police? I glanced at her and said nothing. The officer looked her up and down. Are you the person Mr. Lin mentioned who broke in illegally and is occupying his house? Hearing this, Wang Xuqin panicked instantly. No, officers, it's all a misunderstanding. I am young Master Lin's nanny, responsible for his daily life and meals. My son came over for his school break to stay for a couple of days. The code lock just malfunctioned, and when we called for repairs, we changed the code as well. There was no intent to occupy the house. As she spoke, she pointed at the villa door. Look, didn't I come to open the door immediately? The officers looked at me and then looked at her. Mr. Lin, about this matter, do you still want to press charges? Just as I was about to speak, Wang Xuqin suddenly lowered her voice. She pleaded humbly in my ear, I beg you, young master, Azu, his father passed away early. It hasn't been easy raising him alone, and he just started university. He's at an age with very strong self-esteem, and since he lacked a father's love growing up, his personality is a bit extreme. If he finds out I am just a nanny, he definitely won't be able to handle it. I am doing this just to make him feel better. Please, for the sake of me serving your parents for 12 years, forgive me this once. Hearing Wang Xuqin mention my parents, my heart softened for a moment. Wang Xuqin had been with our family for 12 years. Before my mother passed away, she was in poor health, and she was the one who took care of her personally, serving tea and water with meticulous care. On the day my mother passed away, Wang Xuqin cried harder than anyone, kneeling by the bed and holding my mother's hand, saying she would definitely take good care of me. After that, he indeed kept his word. After my mother passed away, he kept the house in perfect order and took care of me like his own son. During the holidays, I would give him red envelopes, and he would always decline for a long time before accepting. 3 months ago, her son, Chen Zi, was admitted to the same university as me. Wang Xuqin was both happy and worried. She was glad her son was successful, but distressed that college tuition was too expensive. She couldn't afford it. I understood how hard it was for her to raise a child alone, so I offered to cover her son's tuition for the next 4 years. At that time, Wang Xuqin was so moved, she burst into tears. She clutched my hand and thanked me repeatedly, saying she would definitely repay my kindness. But things changed starting last month. One day, I came home to find Wang Xuqin's son, Chen Zi, in the house. I was confused, but Wang Xuqin pulled me aside and explained in a whisper, Young master, my son is on weekend break and has nowhere to go. I thought since I hadn't seen him for so long, I'd let him come over. Just for 2 days, I nodded, saying nothing. There are plenty of rooms in the house anyway, so letting the mother and son reunite was no big deal. But later, I gradually felt something was wrong. 2 days turned into a fixed arrangement every single weekend. Every Friday evening, Chen Zi would show up on time and only leave on Monday morning. At first, Chen Zi just liked to take photos in the living room, to show off on social media to his classmates that he was living in a mansion. I could understand this. After all, everyone wants to look good in front of others. But what I couldn't understand was, Chen Zi's gaze was always full of disgust and disdain for me, as if I were a major inconvenience to him. A few times, while I was sitting on the sofa watching TV, he would deliberately cover his nose and complain loudly, so annoying. In such a luxurious villa, why is there always an unpleasant smell? I thought he really smelled something, so I specifically told Wang Xuqin to clean the house thoroughly. But Chen Zi became even more outrageous. Either had spray disinfectant where ID sat, or put disposable cushions on the sofa and make me sit on them. A few times, I even saw him with a look of disgust, throwing things I had used into the trash. When I questioned her, Wang Xuqin would always explain privately, Z is just worried that those things are dirty and might affect your hygiene, so he's being extra careful. I didn't think much of it. After all, besides school, I had to handle various company matters. I was overwhelmed with work every day, so I didn't have the energy to argue with him. Until this afternoon, when I saw that note on the door, I finally understood. Chenze actually treated me as an outsider who was just staying here. I originally intended to teach them both a lesson, but now Wang Xuqing was piteously begging me, "Young master, I promise there won't be a next time. After I explain everything to Z today, it'll never let him stay here again. Please, for the sake of me serving your parents for all these years, please forgive me this once." Seeing Wang Xuqing's humble state, I see hate. Forget it, I won't pursue it further. All right. After he left, Wang Xuqing breathed a deep sigh of relief. She was incredibly grateful that day. After that day, Chenze indeed never returned. My housekeeper Wang Xuqing remained diligent, keeping the house spotless. The only thing that wasn't quite right. Things just keep going missing at home. Today it's a bottle of red wine, tomorrow it's a set of tableware, the day after it's a set of expensive clothes. Every time I ask Wang Xuqing, she has an excuse. "Young master, I am so sorry. That bottle of red wine, while I was cleaning, I accidentally broke it. Young master, that tableware had been used for too long. I found the crack while washing it, and I was afraid it might cut you, so I threw it away. Young master, that outfit, I took it to the dry cleaners, but they lost it." Even though the excuses sounded a bit far-fetched every time, considering her decent attitude, I didn't press the matter too much. I thought that was the end of it. Until Qingming Festival, I decided to go to the suburban villa where my parents lived for half their lives. To tidy it up, that was my parents' favorite place. The garden was full of my mother's cherished flowers, and the house was filled with souvenirs my father brought from all over the world. Before my mother passed away, she held my hand and said that house was the life's work of her and my father, and told me to take good care of it. I cherished that villa immensely, even though I feared being overwhelmed by memories. After I moved out to live on my own, I would still go there in person every once in a while to clean, carefully wiping every piece of furniture and pruning the flowers and plants in the yard. But when I arrived at the villa entrance this time, I was stunned. The villa gate, which was always closed, actually wide open. Deafening music and noisy laughter could be heard faintly from inside the villa. I immediately stepped forward and pushed open the ajar door. After seeing the scene inside, I was completely dumbfounded. The villa's living room was a total mess. Empty wine bottles were strewn across the coffee table, sofa, and floor. Snack bags, fruit peels, melon seashells, and cigarette butts. The leather sofa worth millions was burnt with one black hole after another by cigarette butts. My mother's favorite Persian carpet was covered in footprints, and several puddles of red wine were spilled. As for the souvenirs hanging on the wall, some were taken down to be used as props for photos, some were smashed and thrown in the corner. Seeing this scene, my fists clenched instantly. This villa was where my parents lived for half their lives. Every piece of furniture, every decoration inside was carefully selected by them. I usually walk even more carefully, afraid of bumping into anything, but now it's been ruined like this. I scanned the room and found someone sitting on the sofa facing the door. Chenze, surrounded by our college classmates. "Brother Ze, your family is way too rich. Even a random suburban villa is so luxurious, right? I just checked. On this wall, any painting is worth millions. My God, your mother is so powerful, truly worthy of being the richest woman with a net worth of tens of billions. Since we are classmates, once you graduate and inherit the family fortune, could you let us work at your company?" Chenze's mouth curled up as he was praised. "It's a piece of cake. If you hang out with me, you'll never be short of money in this life." Hearing this, the classmates were all grinning from ear to ear, madly flattering Chenze. Just then, Chenze saw me standing at the door. His smile faded as he walked up to me arrogantly. Bang. Without a word, a hard punch at my face. "You actually followed me here." That sudden punch left me stunned on the spot. The classmates there also widened their eyes. "What's going on?" Chenze pointed at me with disdain and said disgustedly, "This Lin Tianqing is the one I just told you about, who's been staying for a long time and doesn't know his place. Staying at my house in the city wasn't enough. Now he even wants to stay at the new villa my mother specially bought for me." I looked at Chenze in disbelief. "Who told you that this is the new house your mother bought for you?" Chenze sneered. "My mother said so herself, of course. You're just eyeing the fact that my mother is a female CEO, so you stay at my house every day, trying to show off in front of her to get her attention. It's not enough that you stay over every day to create chances to be alone with my mom. Now you even want to take over my villa. I'm telling you," my mom said, "she let you live in my house only because she saw that you lost your parents, took pity on you, and kindly took you in. Don't push your luck and dream of stealing my family's place." So that's what Wang Xuqing actually told Chenze. No wonder Chenze had such a bad attitude toward me before. It turns out that in his perception, Wang Xuqing is a female CEO who lives in the villa, while I am just a pitiful person she took in. So Chenze always thought I was the one staying in his house every day, and even trying to snatch his status as an only son. It's truly ridiculous. As Chenze spoke, he turned back and shouted to the classmates, "Do you know how out of line this Lin Tianqing is? He clings to my house every day and won't leave. I even left a note specifically telling him not to stay in my house anymore. But instead, he got resentful and immediately called the police, claiming my mother was bullying him. My mom worried that a scandal would affect the company's reputation, so she settled it by buying me this new villa just so I could live alone. Sometimes, I really don't get it. I am my mother's biological son, the real young master, yet I often stay at the dorms. But him, a man with nobody to rely on, actually clings to my home all day long, treating my house as his own. It's so bad that if I want to wear my own clothes or drink my favorite wine, my mom has to sneak them from the city villa just because she's afraid if he finds out, he'll claim we're bullying him again. In all my life, I've never seen such a thick-skinned person. My eyes widened in shock. No wonder things have been going missing from my villa lately. It turns out Wang Xiuqing was sneaking things out for her son. Well played. Since you're playing me for a fool, then don't blame me for being ruthless. I pulled out my phone on the spot and called the legal department, telling them to bring people to my parents' suburban villa immediately. Before I could even finish, Chenzi snatched it away. He slammed my phone onto the ground. How can you be such a fake? Your parents' villa? This is the villa my mom bought for me. The students began to whisper in disdain. No wonder it's like this. He's always making excuses to stay off campus. I thought he was off doing something important. Turns out he just went to mooch off Z's family. That kind of behavior is really inappropriate. Clinging to the rich just because his parents died. It's truly hard to respect someone like that. Some people are just like that. As soon as they see rich people, they try to get noticed, hoping to reach the top by relying on others. So, you're still too soft-hearted. If someone tried to steal my family, I would definitely stop them. Ignoring everyone's comments, I looked at Chenzi and coldly reminded him, I suggest you better make a call and ask your mother properly. Exactly whose villa this is. At those words, his face darkened. He immediately reached out and grabbed my collar. You still want to call my mom? Don't think I don't know. You're just relying on her kindness to trick her into coming here, trying to get more benefits for yourself. As he spoke, he suddenly looked at my neck, his eyes lighting up. This jade pendant necklace clearly isn't cheap. You must have gotten this from my mom too. He yanked it hard. He tore the necklace right off me. Chenzi's move was so fast and violent that I couldn't react in time, and the necklace was in his hand. My expression changed drastically. Give the necklace back. Seeing me get nervous, Chenzi looked at me maliciously. So nervous? It seems this necklace cost my mother a lot of money. He panicked. Quickly, my mom gave it to me. It's not valuable, but it's very important to me. Give it back to me, I cried. I reached out to grab the jade pendant necklace. It's what my mother used her life to pray for. It's my amulet. I have been weak and sickly since I was a child. When I was 10 years old, I was hospitalized in critical condition. He fell into a deep coma. The doctors even told my parents to prepare for my funeral. My mother couldn't accept it, so she went to a temple specifically to pray and show her devotion for me. In the 40-degree scorching heat, she kowtowed at every step that summer, kneeling all the way from the foot of the mountain to the summit. She knelt until her knees were dripping with blood, exposing the white bone underneath. She kowtowed until she bled and lost consciousness just to obtain this jade pendant necklace. Perhaps the heavens were moved by her, because I miraculously woke up from my coma. But my mother became bedridden after that. Before she passed away, she handed the necklace to me and urged me to keep it safe no matter what. I cherish this necklace more than anything. It's been with me since childhood. She traded her life for it. It is my absolute bottom line, and I will never allow anyone to destroy it. The more you want it, the more it'll destroy it, he said. Before I could reach him, Chenzi slammed the necklace onto the ground. With a sharp, crisp sound, the jade pendant shattered into pieces. Fragments were scattered all over the floor. No, I watched the jade my mother die for break just like that. He felt a sharp pain in my heart, finding it hard to breathe. You've gone too far. I couldn't take it anymore and punched Chenzi right in the face. You actually dared to hit me? Chenzi screamed while clutching his face. Teach him a lesson. Whoever does it best, I'll have my mom reward them with $1 million. Hearing that, the students' eyes immediately lit up. They moved against me. How dare you hit Z? Is the richest person in our city. What you did was totally inappropriate. Exactly. What kind of necklace? It's obvious you got this sponge like you afford. She was just disposing of her own property. Is there any need to be so dramatic? You have no sense of boundaries. It's one thing to be a social climber, but to actually initiate a fight? That's really crossing the line. And you have the nerve to mention your mother? If your parents saw you like this, they'd be heartbroken. I was beaten to the ground, shaking with pure rage. I gritted my teeth and said, you're all going to regret this. Everyone there acted like they heard a huge joke. They all burst out laughing. Z's mother is the city's richest woman. You have no power to make us regret anything. Exactly. At best, you're just someone who likes to live off others. How dare someone without even a house threaten us? Venting like this is all you can do. They pinned me firmly to the ground, mocking me without restraint and humiliating me. Surrounded by the crowd, Chenzi grabbed my hair and said arrogantly, regret? I've never regretted anything in my life. I am just waiting to see exactly how you'll make me regret it. Just as he finished speaking, a fleet of luxury cars sped toward us, stopping right at the villa's entrance. The sudden arrival of the luxury motorcade stunned everyone on the scene. Chenzi and the others stopped what they were doing and turned to look toward the gate. Under their gaze, the car doors opened all at once. A group of men wearing black suits, tall and well-built, filed out of the cars. They all looked very serious, with eyes as sharp as eagles. They walked quickly toward the gate. Leading them was a woman in a dress, wearing gold-rimmed glasses, with curly hair. It was Liu Ruyan, the director of my legal department. He is my father's most trusted right-hand man. and is also an important veteran currently assisting me in managing the company. Behind him followed more than 20 employees from the legal department, along with several professional security personnel, each holding document bags and body cameras, looking imposing, instantly surrounding the entire villa entrance so tightly that not a drop of water could leak through. Seeing this scene, the students were all stunned, their mouths agape, discussing in disbelief. What is going on? Why did so many people suddenly arrive? Needless to say, it must be AZ's mother's arrangement. AZ's mother is so rich, knowing Az brought his classmates to the villa for a party today, right? It's only natural to have a grand welcome ceremony. That makes sense. In that case, these people are here specifically to support Az and welcome us. After analyzing it, they all became excited, their faces full of arrogance. Chen's eyes lit up, and he immediately let go of the hand clutching my hair, then straightened his clothes, stepping forward like the master of the house to look at Liu Ruyan, speaking with a face full of anticipation and pride. Excuse me, did my mother call you here? Li Ruyan ignored Chenze. Her gaze quickly scanned the living room, and when she saw me beaten on the ground, with blood on my lip and messy hair, her face darkened instantly. She hurried forward, bent down, and helped me up. President Lin, are you all right? Her voice wasn't loud, but it carried an unquestionable respect. Hearing this, everyone who was just full of anticipation was suddenly stunned, and Chenze was also dazed for a moment. As if he had heard something extremely ridiculous, he suddenly burst into a sneer. President Ling? Did you all hear that? This woman actually called this freeloader President Lin. Chenze pointed at me, laughing so hard he couldn't stand up. Someone like him, who doesn't even have a house, deserves to be called president? The students on site also started jeering. Have you got the wrong person? He's just a hanger-on of Brother Ze, living here every day and always thinking about how to sponge off him. Exactly. Someone like him has nothing to do with being a president. Better open your eyes wide and don't be fooled by someone. Hearing this, Li Ruyan immediately frowned and shouted coldly, silence. Her voice wasn't loud, but it was like a knife, clean and sharp, cutting through all the noise on the scene. While everyone was stunned, she said clearly, the one standing before you is President Lin Tianqing of Shengshi Group. The room went dead silent for a moment, then even louder laughter erupted. The more you talk, the more ridiculous it gets. If he's the chairman of Shengshi Group, then who is AZ's mother? Exactly. Someone who can't even afford a house thinks he can be the chairman of Shengshi Group? Does he think because he stayed at the chairman's house for a few days, he can call himself the chairman? Brother Z, as the chairman's biological son, doesn't even say that. A freeloader like him is just a joke. Looking at how you all were dressed up, I thought you were some big shots. Now I see. You are just a bunch of actors. Is it because Lin Tianqing knows he can't beat Brother Ze, so he got desperate and paid you extras to act like big shots to save face? Too bad we are classmates, and we know him inside out. Your tricks won't fool us. Tell us, Lin Tianqing, how much did you pay them to act? It'll pay double. How about you let me enjoy being the chairman too? Chenze also looked at Liu Ruyan with a sneer and said coldly, if you want to act, make it more believable. But you chose the wrong person to impersonate my mother. Don't you know? I am the son of Wang Shiqin, chairman of Shengshi Group. Hearing this, Liu Ruyan frowned. Wang Shuqin? Isn't that President Lin's nanny? Hearing Liu Ruyan's words, Chenze's expression shifted, and he immediately began to scream. Nanny? What nonsense are you talking? How could my mom be a nanny? She is the president of Shengshi Group, the richest woman, and I, Chenze, am the son of the richest person. Liu Ruyan? She sneered. You're confused. Having said that, she turned to the security personnel behind her and said, secure the scene and take photos of all damaged items as evidence. Additionally, take control of these people and don't let anyone leave the premises. Mr. Lin, we must make them pay a price today. The people behind her shouted in unison and immediately stepped forward to restrain Chenze and the others. What are you doing? Chenze screamed while retreating in fear. I am warning you. Don't come near me. My mother is Wang Xiuqin, the president of Shengshi Group. If you dare touch me, shall never let you off. The classmates also panicked, chiming in. Exactly, Sehe. He's the only son of President Zhang. If you dare provoke a Ze, you're going against President Zhang. Auntie Zhang is the president of Shengshi Group, the richest woman worth tens of billions. You group of actors, don't be so clueless. If you leave now, there's still time. Once Auntie Zhang gets here, none of you will be able to leave. Ge, hurry and call Auntie Zhang. Tell her to bring people and see if these actors still dare to be so arrogant. Chenze snapped out of his daze and hurriedly fumbled to pull his phone out of his bag. He dialed Wang Xiuqin's number, and it rang several times before connecting. He was practically screaming into the phone. Mom, come to the suburban villa quickly. Someone is causing trouble here, and they say they're going to restrain us and won't let us leave. Hurry and bring people. On the other end, Wang Shuqing's voice was clearly panicked. What's going on? Tell me clearly. Chenze blurted out, is that guy who's been sponging off our house. He suddenly showed up at the villa and even brought a bunch of actors to put on the show. And guess what? He says he's President Lin and that you are his nanny. Mom, hurry up and come. I am so scared. Hearing this, the other end went silent. Chenze stomped his feet in a frenzy. Mom, did you hear me? Why aren't you saying anything? I am the one who's in a panic. Wang Xiuqing gulped, her voice completely frazzled as she said, Zay, I am coming over right now. Just don't get into a conflict with them. Wait until I get there, okay? I'll wait for you. Chen Zi hung up the phone, turned to look at Liu Ruyan and me, his eyes full of spite. Just you wait, my mom is on her way. I'll see how you deal with this then. I found a chair, sat down, and said nothing. Liu Ruyan crouched down and asked me in a soft voice, Lin Zi, do you want to treat your wound first? We'll talk when Wang Shuqing arrives. Hearing this, Chen Zi sneered, keep acting, keep it up. When my mom arrives, I'll see how much longer you can keep pretending. Seeing that Wang Xiuqing was actually coming, the students regained their nerve and began to jeer, Zi, Ge, wait. When Auntie Zhang gets here, you must have her teach them a lesson. These arrogant fools actually dare to trespass. Aunt Zhang's villa was just for show, just putting on a show to intimidate us. Isn't this clearly asking for trouble? Aunt Zhang is here, we must let them see for themselves what the methods of a CEO are really like. Not only that, you have to let your mother see Lin Tianqing's true face to keep her from softening her heart and taking her in again, right? After today, let Lin Tianqing find her own place to live. I want to see how she survives if your mother doesn't take her in. Chen Zi gritted his teeth and stared at me fiercely. Don't worry, no matter how Lin Tianqing begs for mercy or threatens today, I won't let my mother take him in again. Not only that, I'll also have my mother teach them a good lesson. Li Ruyan gave a sneer. Teach a lesson? Can we really do that with a mere nanny like Wang Shuqing? Is she even worthy? Chen Zi immediately became anxious. Stop talking nonsense. My mom isn't a nanny. She lives in a huge villa worth hundreds of millions, and she owns the province's largest Shengxi group. Even this suburban villa she bought for me is priceless. How could such an outstanding person possibly be a nanny? I think Lin Tianqing hired you actors to slander my mom, trying to drive a wedge between me and my mother, so he can take advantage to replace me as the son of the richest man. Liu Ruyan looked as if she had heard a huge joke and said with a face full of disdain, you are truly beyond redemption. This villa is where President Lin's parents lived. The villa worth hundreds of millions you mentioned was also bought by President Lin himself after he became an adult. As for a Shengshi group that was founded by President Lin's parents, President Lin is the real son of the richest man. Oh, no. He inherited everything from his parents. Now he is the richest man himself. As for Wang Shuqing, she is just President Lin's live-in nanny. Chen Zi retorted without thinking, you're lying. If all of this were his, then why would he live in my house every day? I was almost amused by his words. Don't you understand human language? That house is mine. I live in my own house. What's wrong with that? Remember, the only reason you could live there was because I didn't care for your mother's sake as our nanny and didn't argue with you. As for why she told you she is the CEO and let you stay in my suburban villa, you'd better ask her yourself. Chen Zi didn't believe it at all. Stop trying to sway my thoughts. Don't think I don't know. You saw that my mom is coming, and you're afraid you can't beat me. So you're deliberately talking nonsense before she arrives, trying to sow discord, so that I would feel distant from my mother. You're just jealous of me. Jealous of my good luck, becoming the son of the richest man. So you hire these people to trick me, so you can take the chance to steal my family position. The classmates behind him also echoed him. Exactly. You're just jealous of Zi for having such a wealthy mother, so you deliberately hire people to act to destroy the relationship between Zi and his mother. Such a low-level tactic, we won't be fooled. When President Zhang arrives, you'll see how ridiculous you are. Just as he finished speaking, there was the sound of hurried footsteps outside. Everyone's eyes turned toward the door. Wang Xiuqing is here. Wang Xiuqing ran in panting. Seeing me, Liu Ruyan, and the others in the villa, her face instantly turned pale. Seeing this, the classmates all stepped forward to greet President Zhang. You're finally here. Lin Tianqing hired a group of actors to put on a show, deliberately trying to scare people here, telling them that Lin Tianqing is the true CEO of Shengshi Group, and even saying, what? This villa is hers, and you are just her nanny? They even said they would control us and make us pay the price. They've been slandering you in front of a Z this whole time. You must not let them off easily. Right, let these ignorant actors see for themselves what a real CEO is like. Wang Xiuqing stood there, face pale, scanning the blood at the corner of my mouth and my messy hair, and finally, her gaze fell on the floor, at the jade pendant shattered into pieces. She saw that broken jade pendant. Her pupils contracted sharply. That jade pendant, she recognized it. How many years had she served my mother and watched my mother wear it with her own eyes? The day my mother passed away, she was also present. She saw with her own eyes how my mother instructed me to protect this necklace. She knew it was an heirloom left to me by my mother, a treasure I had always carefully protected. But now it was broken. Wang Xiuqing's lips trembled, wanting to say something, but unable to make a sound. Chen Zi walked quickly to her side, grabbed her arm, and said anxiously, Mom, you're finally here. These people are bullying me. Quickly call someone to arrest them. He pointed at me and Liu Ruyan, gritting his teeth, especially those two. They insist you're a nanny, and they said our house and company belong to Lin Tianqing. Even this villa is his. Tell them quickly that all of this belongs to you, right? Wang Xiuqing didn't move. Mom? Chen Zi sensed something was wrong and pulled her arm. What's wrong with you? Why aren't you speaking? In the next second, Wang Xuqin slowly looked up at me, her eyes filled with panic and pleading. Then she let go of Chenzi's hand and walked quickly to me, then, lowering her voice just like last time, in a volume only I could hear, said, "Young master, please, help me." I leaned back against the chair and watched her coldly as she continued to beg, "Just help me with this lie." In front of us, sir? Pretend I am the owner of this house, that your house and company are mine, and you're just a poor soul staying in my home. Just this once, I beg of you. You know Azez's father passed away early, and I raised him all by myself. It was very difficult. He's been strong-willed since he was a child. If he found out that I am just a nanny, he would definitely break down. Young master, for the sake of me serving your parents for all these years, please help me just this once more. Just this once? I promise I will work hard from now on, and never let him disturb you again. I'll do whatever you say." Her voice was extremely low, so low only I could hear it, but every word she spoke felt utterly ridiculous to me. I stared at her for a few seconds and couldn't help but laugh. "Wang Xuqin? Where do you get the nerve to say that to me?" Wang Xuqin's face stiffened, a flash of panic in her eyes. She instinctively glanced back at Chenzi. "Young master." Wang Xuqin got anxious, her voice even lower. "Keep your voice down." I ignored her and continued. "For the sake of my parents, I let you stay in my house and gave you a raise, covered your son's tuition, and showed you both endless tolerance time and again. But look at you. Not only did you let your son live in my house and let him act all high and mighty in front of me, but you let him stick notes in my house to remind me, and let him bring people to my parents' villa to act like a tyrant, hitting people and smashing things after all the terrible things you've done. What right do you have to ask for my help?" Sweat began to bead on Wang Xuqin's forehead. "Young master," Wang Xuqin's voice was trembling. "It didn't mean to? I just what?" He interrupted her. "Just telling Chenzi that you're the company president, just moving him into my house, telling him it's your house, just stealing things from my house for him to use, and then letting him live in my parents' villa and trashing the things inside. Wang Xuqin, do you know what this is called? It's called theft and fraud." Wang Xuqin panicked completely. "Young master, I really know I was wrong. I just wanted him to have a good environment to grow up in so much." "You wanted him to have a good environment to grow up in? So you used my things to put on a show?" I let out a cold laugh. "Did you ever think about how your actions would affect me? They hit me and smashed the relic my mother left me." "Wang Xuqin, given the current situation, why do you think I should help you?" Faced with my questioning, Wang Xuqin's face turned as white as paper. She opened her mouth, her whole body trembling. "Young master, I can compensate you." I laughed. That jade pendant was my mother's relic, something she gave her life for. What can you possibly pay to replace it? Wang Xuqin was completely speechless. Just then, Chenzi could finally take it no longer. He stepped forward quickly, pulled her aside, and stood in front of Wang Xuqin, glaring at me. "What are you two whispering about?" He turned to look at Wang Xuqin, his eyes full of suspicion. "Mom, is he playing the victim again? Begging you to let him off the hook?" Wang Xuqin opened her mouth to say something, but then swallowed her words. Chenzi sensed something was wrong, his brows furrowing deeper. "Mom, why aren't you saying anything? What exactly did he say to you? Was he trying to drive a wedge between us? Or did he threaten you again? Don't be afraid of him. If there's something, just say it. If he dares to threaten you, well, call the police. I don't believe this. A mere guest acting like he can turn the world upside down." Wang Xuqin finally looked up. She looked at Chenzi, then at me, her lips trembling for a long time. Finally, she managed to choke out, "Azay, stop talking." "What? Why can't I talk? Could it be you're actually scared of him?" Wang Xuqin frowned, her voice trembling. "Please, stop talking. It's not what you think." Chenzi's eyes widened. "Not what I think? Then what is it? Don't tell me it's really as he says, and you're actually his nanny." At this point, Chenzi couldn't help but laugh out loud. Such a ridiculous claim. Only someone like him could say it. "Mom, slap their faces quickly. Tell us loudly, who does this villa and the company really belong to?" The classmates also looked at Wang Xuqin, urging her on. "That's right, Auntie Zhang. Show them your true identity. Teach them a lesson in humility. An ordinary guy and a group of actors daring to put on an act on your turf. Hurry up and teach them a lesson." "Yes, Zige is still waiting for you to stand up for him." Facing everyone's urging, Wang Xuqin did not move. Chenzi pushed her, puzzled. "Then say something." Wang Xuqin lowered her head, her voice as quiet as a mosquito. "What they said is true." The living room fell silent instantly. Chenzi's smile froze completely. He looked at Wang Xuqin, his eyes full of disbelief. "What did you say?" Wang Xuqin didn't dare to look. Her voice was even quieter. "What young Master Lin said is true. He is the president of Shengshi Group. The house downtown is his. This villa is also his. I am just his nanny." Every word Wang Xuqin said hit Chenzi's heart like a hammer. His face turned pale at a visible rate, from white to green, from green to purple. "What did you say?" His voice was trembling. Mom, say it again. Wang Xiuqin finally looked up and said seriously, Sir, I am sorry. I didn't mean to lie to you. I just care about you too much. I was afraid you'd be embarrassed if you knew I was a nanny. So I Chenzi roared, breaking down, interrupting Wang Xiuqin. Stop it. So you really have been lying to me this whole time. You told me you were the president of Shengxi Group, said you lived in a big villa, and that being a female tycoon worth tens of billions was all fake. You really are just a nanny with nothing. Wang Xiuqin lowered her head, her voice as faint as a mosquito. Sir, I am sorry. I am sorry? What's the point of being sorry? Chenzi started shouting hysterically. Do you know what I told my classmates? I said my mom was a president, a tycoon, a success. And now you tell me you're just a nanny. How can I face my classmates? How can I ever hold my head up in front of them again? With that, Chenzi grabbed Wang Xiuqin's shoulders, repeatedly asking her why she lied to him, why she was so useless, ruining his life. The classmates stood aside, watching in disbelief, their faces beyond ugly. Enough. I spoke, not loudly, but it was enough to silence everyone. Chenzi and Wang Xiuqin looked at me at the same time. If you want to argue and make a scene, you'll have plenty of time later, but now, a few things must be made clear. I walked up to Wang Xiuqin, looking at her. First, you allowed others to use my villa without my permission, causing extensive damage to the furniture and items. This is illegal misappropriation of property. Second, you took many valuables from my home without authorization, including my collection of red wine, my clothes, watches, furniture, and appliances. This involves theft. Third, you hid your true identity, using my assets as a front to deceive your son and even condoned him physically attacking and beating me. You can't escape responsibility for this either. With every point I made, Wang Xiuqin's face grew whiter. Fourth, I pointed to the broken jade pendant on the floor. This is my mother's heirloom. Now it's been smashed by your son. Wang Xiuqin, her legs went weak. She knelt down on the spot. Young master, I didn't do it on purpose. Please forgive me. This time, I promise it will never happen again. She knelt on the ground and kept kowtowing. Chen just stood aside, looking at Wang Xiuqin kneeling on the ground. The expression on his face was extremely complex. There was anger, disappointment, humiliation, and a hint of inexplicable guilt. The classmates at the scene were all huddled in the corner. Those who were just shouting, threatening to give me a hard time, now didn't even dare to look. Liu Ruyan came over and handed me a document. President Ling, these are the photos and videos taken at the scene just now. All damaged items have been photographed for evidence, including the injuries on your body, which have also been recorded. I took the document and flipped through a few pages, nodded, then looked at Wang Xiuqin. You should get up. Wang Xiuqin looked up, with a flicker of hope in her eyes. Young master, you're willing to forgive me. I looked at her and said, word by word. Forgive you? No. I am just telling you to stand up to talk. As for how to handle this matter, that's for the police to decide. From now on, I will no longer, just because you've worked at my house for many years, give you any special treatment. Wang Xiuqin's face turned completely gray. She slumped on the ground like a pile of mud. Chenzi watched this scene and finally realized how serious the situation was. He frowned, walked up to me with a slight tremble in his voice. That, Ling Tianqing, today's matter is a misunderstanding. We didn't know this house was yours. What did you think? I looked at him. You thought I was just staying here temporarily, so you could just hit people as you pleased and smash someone's things at will? I've already called the police. They should be here soon. Do you think for the damage to property? I will definitely pursue it to the end. Chenzi held a sliver of hope. As for dealing with this matter, he cried out Mom with a sob. Say something. Didn't you say you protect me and make sure ID never have to worry about food or clothes? Why aren't you saying anything now? Wang Xiuqin knelt on the ground, looking at Chenzi. Her eyes were full of bitterness. I can't even protect myself anymore. So how can I protect you? Chenzi was stunned. Just then, a siren sounded outside and several police officers walked in. I briefly explained what happened, from Wang Xiuqin using my villa without permission, to Chenzi leading people in to beat someone, and the property damage. I made everything clear and stated to the officers. Officers, these people publicly slandered and beat me. They also dirtied my villa, destroyed my furniture, drank all the wine I collected, and smashed my mother's relics. For every single one of these counts, I will not accept any mediation. Please handle this strictly. All right, the officer nodded and quickly took everyone involved to the police station. Before leaving, he also reminded me to provide proof of value for all damaged items, things like purchase invoices and all my injury reports to the station to settle the accounts and hold them accountable one by one. After I went to the hospital to treat my wounds and get the report, I took all the documents to the police station. In the police station, those classmates who were once arrogant were now all frowning with worry. The reason they had been so sycophantic to Chenzi before was entirely because they were intimidated by Wang Xiuqin's identity as the CEO of Shengxi Group. They thought Chenzi was the future heir of the Shengxi Group, so they buttered him up in every way. But now, the group heir they thought they knew turned out to be just the son of a nanny while I, the one they bullied, turned out to be the one they should have been currying favor with. This made them feel very uncomfortable, their eyes filled with dissatisfaction as they looked at Chenzi one by one. Chenzi had completely lost his spirit by now. He had received the biggest blow of his life, not just having to face the huge compensation. More importantly, he kept saying today that he detested people who stayed over for free the most, but after all that trouble, the fact that he was the one staying for free was something he simply could not accept. The police verified the information I brought one by one, finally calculating that Chen Zi and the others, just for the wine they drank in the villa, needed to pay over 10 million in compensation, plus the ruined sofas and carpets, totaling 20 million. Hearing this number, everyone's face turned pale in shock at the 20 million. To everyone present, this was an astronomical figure they couldn't afford to pay and could only say helplessly, "You are already so rich, why bother with us? Over this bit of money?" Exactly. It's just a misunderstanding. It's fine as long as we talk it out. You don't have to drive us to a dead end, do you? So, he drank up the wine in your collection cabinet and ruined your sofas and carpets. You're already the richest man. Surely you won't be so stingy and keep bothering us over this bit of money. Yeah, look at you. Your injuries aren't even serious, so don't be petty. They spoke one by one with such self-righteousness as if 20 million. Yes, to them, it was just a trivial matter of words. Or perhaps they thought because I am rich and because I wasn't badly injured, I should just be the sucker and take the loss. I gave a cold laugh and said directly, "Weren't you very arrogant when you were drinking and hitting people? What do you mean by asking me not to be petty now? How come you have the nerve to cause trouble, but not the nerve to pay?" Seeing that I had no intention of backing down, they panicked, no longer daring to challenge me. Instead, they all pointed their fingers at Chenze. "It's all because you didn't clarify the situation and just talked nonsense. It's clear your mom is just a nanny, yet you pretended to be some big CEO. You're the one staying for free, and you blamed others for involving us. Even your tuition was paid by Lin Tianqing. How dare you say you're the future heir of Shengxi Group? That's really improper. Because we tried to please you, we've gotten into a mess of trouble. You pay this money yourself. It has nothing to do with us." Exactly. If you hadn't invited us to play at the villa, how would we have gotten into this? You bear these 20 million alone. Don't think about asking us to split the cost with you. Facing these people's accusations, Chenze was furious and fought back without hesitation. "You still have the nerve to say that. If it weren't for you guys wanting to suck up to the powerful and constantly egging me on, would I have gone this far? When you thought I was the son of the richest man, you flattered me in every way. Now that something's happened, you all turn your backs, right? With this behavior of yours, it's clear you're just sycophants, every single one of you. Don't think you're getting away." Chen immediately started cursing and shouting at his classmates on the spot. No, the police stopped him just in time. They almost started a physical fight. After a long argument, this group started making excuses for themselves again, claiming they didn't drink much, that it was all others doing, and that they didn't even hit anyone. Later, the police brought out the surveillance footage from my villa. Under the surveillance of the high-definition cameras, they finally shut their mouths. Speechless, everyone could only pay compensation according to their own actions. Everyone was being sorted out, and since he was the most aggressive, naturally, the debt he carried was the most. Facing this huge claim for compensation, Chenze was at his wit's end and could only turn his gaze toward Wang Xiuqing. "Mom, this whole thing started because of you. You must find a way to solve this." After hesitating for a moment, she looked at me and pleaded, "Young master, there's no need to take things to such an extreme, right? Please, for the sake of the many years I've spent taking care of your family, show me some respect and let it go." I looked coldly at Wang Xiuqing. "Give you respect? Wang Xiuqing, you have indeed taken care of my family for many years, but we have already repaid you with a high salary all these years. Do you really think you still have any face left with me? Starting today, you are fired. Instead of worrying about pleading for others, you'd better think about how to save yourself." With that, I walked away without looking back. And just like that, everyone began looking for money to pay the compensation. Some classmates begged everyone they could and went to their parents, getting a severe beating before they could scrape together the money to pay the debt. Those who couldn't afford it accepted their legal punishment, paying the price they deserved for their greed and arrogance. Wang Xiuqing was sentenced to 3 years for theft, intentional destruction of property, and illegal entry into a residence. Others were sentenced to 2 years for intentional assault and intentional destruction of property. After this incident, I completely understood that in this world, it's never a case of you taking a step back and others doing the same for you. The more tolerant you are with some people, the more they will push their luck. The more soft-hearted you are, the more they will dare to walk all over you. Your kindness must have an edge to it. Otherwise, you will only be treated like a soft target and crushed.